All right, here we go. Turn on Vav, B'yom HaBikurim. How appropriate it is to learn on Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Baruch Hashem. So we're holding Siv Dalet, Siv Hey. Right. After we already explained each person in Am Yisrael is a medicum of Malchus, his authority. These are people whose neshamas are subservient to him. And his job is to lead them, to admonish them, to awaken them, to guide them, to keep on a certain narrow. The Malchus, that kind of authority, is a very tempting commodity. I mean, if people listen to what you do, you feel like telling them what to do. Yeah, make me a cup of coffee. You have coffee, okay, make me tea. Yeah. Yeah, but this particular Indian is a double-edged sword because the Malchus, this kind of authority, was given to a person for a purpose. That Malchus is that position, that authority is a very acerbic, is a very acidic, corrosive element. The Malchus mekaberes es be'aleh. The Malchus shortens the life of whoever it is that holds the office.
What is a berry? The lesson is berry.
Yeah, Rabbeinu talks about shortening, because it says how do you counter it? Imam Sharich Islam Yomim Toch Malchus.
I saw it very interesting in the Likutey Moharan, B'tzias HaPas. If man speaks about Yosef, that the Torah's passage that Yaakov gave, that Yaakov saw he was the tzaddik that everyone should go to, because he was the tzaddik emes, they were all tzaddik. He gave him the Torah's passage, but it was before its time. He didn't yet go through the nisyonos that would make him into the tzaddik that he would become. Therefore, the brothers removed the beged naki from him. Why did they throw him into the pit? So that's kind of like the grave, so to speak. It was makaber because he wasn't yet rightly for the position that he would become. So there's like a literal thing that buries its. If you're not yet rightly, then
it's I mean, it's emes. It seems here that the opposite of Arichos Yom is Kitzur Yom. I mean, it's Al Pi Poshut. Now, Rabbeinu says that this kind of position of authority is in two fashions. There is Visgalia and Viskasya. And Rabbeinu says that there is one tzaddik in the generation that, I mean, Rabbeinu doesn't say in the generation, it says, Yesh Echad, there is one. Bisgalia, it seems that he has no authority over anybody. It seems like, he's not telling anybody what to do. Nobody's listening to him. When it says that Biskasio, Be'elam Godol, he's really governing over the entire generation because all the neshamas are under him. I mean, that's the kasha, how can a person admonish people and tell them what they need if he himself many times doesn't know what they need? And not only that, but they're not by him, and they're not by him many times to tell them what to do. I mean, you can be here, and the person who's under your neshama can be in Timbuktu. I mean, it's or when he's doing something that he shouldn't be doing, he's not by you. Somebody's, I don't know. Anyhow, so Rabbeinu says that there's something which is done subliminally. In other words, the pe'ula is that you are putting together, you're putting in action a certain spiritual mechanism, and that mechanism interjects and brings to life the Torah letters that are embedded in the kind of concealment that the person is in. And when you turn this concealment around, the Torah letters which are there, they themselves awaken, and they call the person out, and they say, Ad Mosai Psoim Tebu Pesi. Until when will you be so enraptured and in love with foolishness?
Tzaddik has declared to rearrange the letters in its proper seder to cause the person to have an awakening to the truth.
That's not what Rabbeinu is saying. Rabbeinu says that what the tzaddik does, he's supposed to, anybody who has this authority has to inject the malchus with the antigen of arichas yamin, because the malchus, the nature is kitzu yamin, kabezes ba'aleh. So you have to be mashich arichas yamin into the malchus. So how are you doing that? You're doing it through establishing of das. Now the das itself is also being, the Rabbeinu says, is also being established by arichas yamin. So, just a second. So you're supposed to be arichas yamin through the das, and the das is arichas yamin. So, what comes first? What kind of the arichas yamin, that the second arichas yamin, it's very reminiscent of Vayomer Elokim Yehior Vayior. That when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the light, so we have Yehior. The second thing is Vayior. The Vayior denotes the Shem Elokim, and Yehior is Shem Havai Baruch Hu. It is through the receptacle of Vayior you bring about the Yehior. The union of arichas yamin that we're being mamshich. Rabbeinu said, how do you do it? You do it through esek. You learn Torah, but with your mouth, you're saying the letters, you bring about, you're calling the Chai Chaim, you are taking from the reservoir from Kodesh Baruch Hu, from the Chai Chaim, and you're putting it into, and you're building a das. Now, why is the Lashon Dafka arichas yamin and not, Rabbeinu says, mamshich Chaim and Chai Chaim. So why Rabbeinu doesn't call it, to get das, it goes through Chaim. What's that? Arichas yamin. So we spoke about that a couple of times ago, and we said that arichas yamin is telling you that there are two actions that are taking place at the same time. The one is arichus. You're supposed to draw. You're supposed to bring in, like marich ruchai. You lengthen it. You're drawing it out. The Chaim from Chai Chaim. Yamin Rabbeinu says is midos, is tzimtzum. And we said that in all the three kinds of historians that the person can be in, which is represented here with the three pchinas noshin. The worst one, that Bechlal sprang out from Kodesh Baruch Hu's presence, like he doesn't even know what you're talking about. The second one is the one that remembers, when I was young, we used to be religious in my house. I remember used to make challahs, whatever it is, but it's like that person already knows that that used to be religious, used to keep Shabbos, The third one is somebody who is someone like me, it's like he knows the way it's supposed to do, but tomorrow, not now. Yeah, right. No, don't get me wrong, but so these three Astoris need these levels of concealment. You need to interject the arichas yamin in order to awaken the Isis Torah that comprise the specific Torah that he's under. The thing that usually keeps people away from, that almost always keeps people away from Kadosh Baruch Hu, is because of Ribui Or. People have an idea of, they have a picture in their mind of what kind, how does a Avodah Hashem look like? What does an Oved Hashem looks like? What am I supposed to be like? What am I supposed to do? I know somebody who wakes up Chatzois, Tikkun Chatzois, sitting on the floor, crying. Just open up. You see simple people. It was like 150 years ago. In the Breslov, of Nachman Schuster used to sit. He sat on the floor, and you read the stories, but you don't realize that a simple person 150 years ago is not you today, in any way, shape, or form. The thing is that when a person beautifies this picture of what an Oved Hashem should look like, in other words, what's expected of me, he invariably comes up, come on. I have no chance of making it. I was just like we say that this is the klipa of Goliath. It's a horror. The klipa of Plishti. It tells a person, let's be realistic. Come on, who are you kidding? You know you, I know you, everybody knows you. Maybe nobody else knows you, but you know you and I know you. Come on, man, just let it go. That's the klipa of Plishti. That's we said that, in fact, this is, fighting against this kind of chlisha sadas that comes from a too idealistic picture of what Avodas Hashem should mean for me. That's a Mesiras Nefesh the person needs. Because before we said that the least B'chinas Noshim, the one who's the most aware, one says, I can't do it. Come on, I can't do what you think to the car with my hands. It's like, So what kind of citizen are you expecting from him? Somebody is, come and try to be Mabri Maldas, to try to proselytize him, whatever it is, to force him to convert. It didn't happen. You're just living your life, normal life. So what Mesiras Nefesh is actually being demanded from me? The answer is not to listen, to rebel against this notion that I can't. It's beyond me. It's above my pay grade. Forget about it. Might as well just have us have a good steak. And the thing is that it's very, very, it's very important that you should be able to sort of like make the judgments, make the compensations, the trimming, as it were, like they have in planes, they do trimming, like the plane has a tendency to go to the left, you make a trimming so it'll go straight. So you have to, the adjustment that you need to do is, on one hand, you're supposed to let go of this dimion that you're supposed to be a Shmuel Shapiro, or Bevel Cheshin, or Levi Yitzchak Benda, or Visol Karduner. That's not what demanded of you. Come on. It is. No, it isn't. No, it is. No, it isn't. To be happy with what you do, this is the Mesiras Nefesh that you have to give yourself over to fight the Plishtim. Because if you're happy with what you do, Obviously, you have the koyach to do what you do. I mean, you're doing it. This is of simcha. You interject the whole thing. You put arichas yomim. You put arichas chaim into the yomim, into the tzimtzumim of where you are, and each one of their stories need to have this kind of. So, what kind of ha'ara can you give? The Torah can give to the people that completely are away from the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That they're they're totally unaware that anything is hidden from them. When it's not even possible for them, to find it, because they don't even know he's hidden. And we said the message is that we have Megillus Esther. We said the Yehudim is kimu the kiblu, says in the Megillah. They accepted the Torah, in Ma'amad Har Sinai. They say that they accepted, but halfway. In other words, kofalem as the hakagigis. The Kodesh Baruch Hu forced them. So it's an over. What do you have to force them? It says Nasa v'Nishma. So they say, yeah, for the Torah Shebektav, this is Nasa v'Nishma. Torah Shebal Peh, not so much. This is kofal and hakagigis. It's another beautiful word. I don't know who heard it from. It says why the Kodesh Baruch Hu had to force them. Yeah, that's in Shavuos. So in Ma'amad Har Sinai, they said Kodesh Baruch Hu took the mountain and put it on top of them. If you are accepting it, fine. If not, you're going to be buried right here. Another burial, right? So yeah, shotgun, exactly. So why it had to be done that way? The answer, one of the answers that was beautiful. They said that we have a halacha. If a person forces an unmarried girl against her will, she becomes his wife, and he can never ever divorce her. Because he forced the girl, so she becomes his wife. He forced himself upon a girl. This is mafate they're talking about. There's something else. They said that if he forces himself on a girl, well, he's married to her. He gets married to her, and he cannot divorce her for as long as he lives. Because he did it through force. Through force. He did it by force. He forced himself on her. No, yeah. No, rape. Yeah.
Why would she want to be married to him? If she doesn't want to be married, then she does not be married.
So Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted to. This was a chasana. Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted to force Am Yisrael into it, so Kadosh Baruch Hu could not divorce us ever, because he knew, when but didn't, so he put himself into a catch-22 that he can never ever divorce us. Anyhow, Megillas Esther, Kilu Mekiblu. The Kilu, the Gemara says, or Mekayim, that which they have already accepted, in Har Sinai. In other words, Azak Kabbalah Sator has never been. Kaimel Nish Geveh. Some years later, Ezra takes the people to Eretz Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, Stender, and he's giving them, the sermon, fire and brimstone. Divorce all your Goyish women. Goitas? How did they come about? Most of the people were married to Goitas. Just a second. Just a few years before, you have the Megillah, Kiv Kivlu. Where did the Goitas come from? When did they come from? When it's like what's missing from this picture? The answer is The first step is be makabel. Be makabel. You can't actually, you'll be makayim it. Said it'll take time. There'll come a time that says, okay, now it's time for the cut-off date. Let them loose, send the Geisha women away, and that's what they did. In other words, until then, they couldn't do it. But being that they accepted it upon themselves, it's already considered a kimu masha kiblu. So, Mimela, led the Mistafina, I would say that this is what's necessary now. And that's Israel. Because it doesn't really matter whether they beat the Hamas or not. They'll beat the Hamas, somebody else will come. Kodesh Baruch Hu is doing it, it's not Hamas. Just let the Israelis know. Be makabel. Be makabel in yourself. You can't do Seder. But just remember. If you ever get to speak to a Fry Israeli, tell them. Now they're talking about, yeshivas, taking the yeshivas of the army or whatever. That 2,000 years ago, there were yeshivas, right? Now, I don't care how fried the Jew is. If it's a shtickle sechel, you understand that without there being yeshivas 2,000 years ago, there's no state of Israel. There's no state of Israel. Without there have been 2,000 years ago yeshivas, there will be no state of Israel today. Any fried person with a shtickle sechel says, duh, there wouldn't be anybody to make the state of Israel with. What? That's right. No, you just got to be inside Israel. So he says, yeah, but you got to carry the load. Okay, Besanda. So you see that there are two loads, all right? There is the load that those that have been carrying it for the past 2,000 years, 3,300 years, 3,336. They are what you would call netzachnikas. The ones who are in charge with the eternal nature of the Jewish nation. Netzach. Those who learn Torah, those that keep it, they're netzachnikas. Okay? You want to look at those who serve in the army, whatever it is the chashavnikas, the naunikas. Fine. You're saying, listen, you can't have netzach without now? Okay. I want to accept that. But you can't have now without netzach. All right? So let's take, let's come to a certain compromise, You have to have a shtickle netzach in you, and I have to have a shtickle now in mine. Okay, so we can come to some kind of a dialogue. Tell them just that you have Avicha Shabashamayim, Kodesh Baruch Hu is waiting for you. I say, I want. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't have the Krichas HaNefesh, I have no idea, I don't know. Where you are, how you are, I don't know anything. But the Gemara, I think Gemara Bracha says this is that every person has what they call limud beis Rebbe. There's some kind of a kiss of the Yankasa, some kind of original version that they know, they heard about it. They had more, they had less, whatever it is. Each one is just lift up your eyes to Kodesh Baruch Hu says, I'm here. What do you mean? You're not showing Shabbos, you're not doing kosher. I'm here. Right now, that's what's needed from you. Let them know. So, everybody can live in the Torah, whatever. You say it to them, they look at you like, come on, that's how I say, come on, you're just being, you're pulling my leg. What do you mean? Everything's going to say. It's really hard for them. They cannot. So you have to put it in such a way, okay, let's see how it works, Couldn't work any other way. You need netzach, you need now, all right, it can work. Anybody that has a shtickle sechel yosel can understand that. And all this, Rabbeinu says that the Torah that is awakened, the Torah that is embedded in the Hastara, is a very high Torah. Because over there, in the filthy places, which is totally immersed in the Sitra Achra, the Klipos, if there would be a Pashtei Torah, Rabbeinu says in Sif Gimel, the Klipos could have uniqueness from it. You see, the entire world has a Tanakh. Tanakh they have, Gemara they don't have. This is already, if Chas Chalila they would have a Unica from the Tosha Baal Peh, they already can have too much chayas and they can fool the Eden, as it was in the beginning. So that's the reason why Dafka there, in those far-flung places, the Torah that is concealed is Sisra Torah. It's like the highest level of Torah. So we have said that there is a Pchinas Malchus, the Mechayah, that all the lower Madrigas, even those that are in the stores with the store, totally far off. Now the Tzaddik, who is Pchinas Malchus, the Kedusha, his business is to reveal all the stars and to gather all the mitzvahs, the Kedusha, to gather them in. It fell into all these low places and turn them from Astara into Torah. Kenegad you have Malchus Arashah that wants to gather all these tzitzis to the tumas. This is Malchus Arashah, this is Amalek, this is Haman Rasha, Haman Amalek. Before we actually go ahead with this, I'd like to touch, because it's before Shavuos, Mir says, I think, Torah Kuf Tzadik, that before Matan Torah, the people, said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Kol asher yomer Hashem nasa. Whatever Hashem is saying, we're going to do. Whatever Hashem says, we'll do. That's not the Nasa Nishma. That's before it. Whatever Hashem says, what gain? So Moshe brings the words of the people to Hashem. So Kadosh Baruch Hu answers him, go. V'dibart elam, go speak to them. Hayom v'mochon, I'm going to speak to them today and tomorrow. No, sorry. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, I will come and I'll speak to you. And they will believe in you also, forever. Then the Chumash says, Vayavi Moshe divrei Ha'am Hashem. Same thing, Moshe brings the words of the people to Hashem. And he says, we didn't find that the people said anything additional. What is he telling Hashem? Baruch Hu follows says, go to the people, V'lech kidashtem hayom v'machar, sanctify them today and tomorrow. Yom HaShlishi, and the third day I will come. So Rabbeinu explains what's going on here. What is this repetition that Moshe brought the words of the people to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? So it says, Rabbeinu says as follows. The people came to Moshe Rabbeinu with, a very getrachte taina, well thought out taina. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells a person to do something openly, there's no bechira anymore. Kol asher yomer Hashem, nasa. So over debate. Because Baruch Hu answered him, direct. I will come, I'll speak to you. The people will hear that I'm speaking to you. And they'll say, they'll have a choice. I don't speak directly to them, I'm speaking to you. Singular. Singular. You should not singular have other deities upon me, and so forth and so on. So they have a choice whether to receive it or not to receive it. So that way they'll receive it from you. They'll decide they want it, they don't want it. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, Moshe brought the same words that the people said about themselves, that they're going to have no Bechira. Now Moshe Rabbeinu brings it about himself. Okay, so you fix them. They will have choice. But then he was speaking to me directly, so I have no choice anymore. I have no Bechira anymore. Baruch Hu says, sanctify them today and tomorrow, but the third day I'm coming. Moshe goes ahead and adds another day. Moshe hoisif yom echad midaitan. That's one of the things that Kadosh Baruch Hu did not, one of the three things Kadosh Baruch Hu did not say to Moshe Rabbeinu, and once Moshe did it, Kadosh Baruch Hu agreed with her. We see Taka, Kadosh Baruch Hu came on the fourth day, didn't come on the third day. So comes the question, what's going on here? What is this give and take, this dialogue? Am Yisrael, Moshe Rabbeinu, Kadosh Baruch Hu, what's going on here? Uled Mistafina would say, Moshe Rabbeinu's Derech of Beis, the Tzaddikim are busy finding out where's Am Yisrael holding it all the time. They are the admonishers of generations. This is what's happening here. Their job is to be the ambassadors from basically Kodesh Baruch Hu to Am Yisrael and vice versa. To make sure that Am Yisrael is always directed towards the Kodesh Baruch Hu. So the Din remains a Din Torah, doesn't become Din Achzor, and so forth and so forth. Moshe Rabbeinu comes, the people tell him, God speaks to us, there'll be no Bechira. Moshe Rabbeinu is not like that. Who tells you have to have a Bechira? Since when are you such a big Chacham? Because Baruch Hu says that's the way he wants to do it. We're being a big Chacham, you're giving Eitzah to Baruch Hu, no Bechira, what's going on here? Moshe Rabbeinu's coming to Baruch Hu and says, I'm smelling a rat. They want Bechira. So Kadosh Baruch Hu said, no problem, I'll come and speak to you. Also, Neil, they'll live forever, no problem. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, yeah, but what about me? I also need Bechira. And then he adds, because Baruch Hu says, okay, for 3 days you'll come, Moshe Rabbeinu adds another day. What did you do with this? What did he accomplish with this one day? You take a look at, Moshe Rabbeinu did, when he went on after Har Sinai, he was supposed to come down the 40th day. And he came late. So the people didn't know. They freaked out. What's happening? Moshe Rabbeinu says, okay, let's, build us a leader, that that'll be we'll vote in Bagatz, government, whatever it is that, will lead us. Halachically, what was the grounds upon which Moshe Rabbeinu has added another day? Well, tells you third day I'm here. What do you mean you added another day? It's not a multiple option test. Do as catch as you can. But what is the third day? It's the third day. What's shut you adding another day? Moshe Rabbeinu learns. Lamdonisha Mahalach. Be mekadosh the people, hayom u'machar, today and tomorrow. Moshe Rabbeinu goes, okay, what's so special about tomorrow? Tomorrow has the evening before together with it. Mamachar leiloi imoi, even before, is part and parcel of tomorrow. It must be that today, Hayom, also has to have this tail of leiloi imoi. So you can't start counting from today. The first has to be from tomorrow. So the Hayom becomes tomorrow. Machar becomes, the third day, the fourth day. That's when the Kodesh Baruch Hu has to come down. La'alocha. With this additional day, when you see when Moshe Rabbeinu is going up to Har Sinai for 40 days, and he's late coming down, the people are making a mistake. What is the mistake that they're making? Tomorrow has a night before. Moshe went up the day. When you're counting the 40 days, tomorrow has the night before. Today also. In other words, you have to add another day. And they didn't. Moshe Rabbeinu here put a speed trap to the people. Let's test you out. If you really want to serve Hashem, you're so frum, I want Bechira, whatever it is, no problem. Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't come. Maybe it's supposed to be a Leilo Imai. Maybe it's tomorrow, it's not today. But if you're looking for hanky panky, hey, Moshe's not here. Come on, go ahead, do, boom. Huh. All right. Now I know exactly where you are. And you know exactly who you are. But Moshe Rabbeinu has accomplished much more than that. With this added day, Kadosh Baruch Hu tells him, I'm going to speak to you. And they will listen, they will believe, they will choose, they'll believe in you forever. When Am Yisrael were actually sinned in Chet HaEgel, because Baruch Hu says, okay, that's it. The show is over. I'm exchanging them to a different one. Moshe Rabbeinu says, Lama Hashem yechera apcha be'amecha. What's bistezoi beis? Why are you so nervous? Chill. What's your problem? What do you mean, what's my problem? Everything with the Zara. What are you talking about? Baruch says, you never told him not to read dinner for the Zara. What? You never told him not to serve over the Zara. You told me not to serve over the Zara. They accepted it upon themselves. They accept it. They don't. You didn't tell them directly, you told me. And with this, he was able to extricate them from this deep water they stumbled into. This is the tafkid of Moshe Rabbeinu. So there are various questions about when was actual Matan Torah. Was it on Vav Sivan or was it on Zayin Sivan? The Maaseh, the Maharsha, calculates it. I believe it's Tzvi told Masech Ksubas. It's written. I'm not sure. It's my own. I don't know. I wouldn't know one way or another. But the maskana is that they got the Torah on Zayin Sivan. Zayin Sivan was Shabbos. Everybody's familiar with Shabbos. How does it work out in the calendar? It comes out that it was Shabbos. It's Zayin Sivan. So why are we celebrating Shavuos on Vav Sivan? It's not the right day. Not only this, but we have a bigger problem. when we're making Kiddush, Shabbos by night, what are we saying? Yom Hashishi, right? V'yachula shaman v'aretz v'chol tzva'am. What is Yom Hashishi? It says that in Bereshis, Kadosh Baruch Hu put a t'nai, put a condition with the Bria, with the world. If Am Yisrael are going to accept the Torah on Vav Sivan, the world can continue to exist. If not, so how can Torah, how can Moshe Rabbeinu add another day? You can come up with all the beautiful calculations that you want, but there's nothing to be chal on. There's nothing to, there's no world anymore. But they don't accept, finish. Expiration date. Boom, gone. How can it be that the world is still here on Zion Sima? This is the Tzadikei Emes, Chinas Moshe. If you read Sefer Meises, Meises Nizayim Betlers, the Meises Yom HaShlishi. Meises Yom HaShlishi was the Betler Kvad Peh. Who was Kvad Peh? Moshe Rabbeinu. And they said that, there's a mountain, there's a fountain in a mountain. And they are totally enraptured with one another and total love with one another. And all day long, they're just longing to one another. They can't come too close, they lose sight of one another, and then it comes night. And when the night comes, the day is over. They have only life of one day. One day. So the Betler Kvad Peh says that he's going to the Emet Ish Chesed, the true Ish Chesed, who is collecting all the Chasadim in the world. And what does he do with it? He creates with it another day. And that is what the Betler Kvad Peh is giving to the heart in the mountain, in the fountain. They give him another day. Another day that Moshe Rabbeinu gave Am Yisrael. He added another day to the calendar. Within the calendar. It's like Anochi Hashem Elokecha was said with one dibur. One dibur. There's one. Masha'ena Peh Yechol La'agid Ozen Lishmoya. Only Kadosh Baruch Hu can do that. Moshe Rabbeinu adds another day that does not add another day to Yom HaShishi. He creates another day from the Chesed. Amati Olam Chesed Yivoneh. He builds another day. The Olam exists for another day, extra day, which is ex-curricular. It's like a extracurricular. It's not from the regular calendar. That's what we can be chaygig Shavuos and Vav Sivan when the Torah is actually given on Zion Sivan. So what are we actually celebrating? We are celebrating the day that Moshe Rabbeinu added. We're celebrating the day that Moshe Rabbeinu added. The Vav Sivan, the Hoysif Yom Echad Medaita. This is what we're celebrating. In Hilchos Period Verivia, Hilchos Ishus, Shemnoson brings down. He says, most people, when they're davening, he says, they're doing most of their business calculations while they're davening. And he says that even people who are really, Elochim, really great, big Jews, great people, they don't daven the entire davening of Kabbalah. They can't. Only the tzaddikim, Gdolei Amalo, the perfect one, the really big ones, they can daven the whole davening such a way the beginning and the end is all one, so forth and so on. So the tefillah that is flawed cannot possibly raise up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's no way. So how does the tefillah raise up? When it says in Torah Hey, and Torah Dalet, not Torah Hey, that all the Torah that the person learns, Lishma Velasis, all the letters on the Tzitz and the Shamis, they're all coming to the Tzaddik. And the Tzaddik elevate. Chinas, Alamos Muvoslach, Sulos, Alamos Muvoslach. They're all coming to the Tzaddik, the Torah, inside the Tefillah, inside the Emunah, all come to the Tzaddik for elevator. It is through the koyach of the Tzaddik Emes that the Torah can be elevated, that your Tefillah can be elevated, your Masim Tovim can be elevated, because everything that we do is inherently flawed. It cannot go up except through the koyach of the Tzaddik Emes, of the Tzaddik Emes. That's it. This is what we're celebrating on Shavuos. Matan Torah is the day that Moshe Rabbeinu added. The Metzias of Moshe Rabbeinu, the elevating out Torah, elevating out Tefillah. Bezat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help us all. Bezat Hashem, that we mekash yourself to Tzadikei Emes. Amen. HaKadosh Bezat Hashem will elevate all the Tefillahs and all the Torahs, all the Pasavim. Bezat Hashem will project Arichas Yomim to all the Oises at Torah, the Das, to all the Oises at Torah that are hidden in all those in the Astorah, B'toch Astorah. B'mhabach B'zat Hashem, the Astorah, to Gilui, B'zat Hashem, will Zocher to see Yulu Shleimo, Hashem, V'yos Mashiach Tzidkenu, Merav Yamin, Amen. Stop this. Shabbos mit Yom Tov, bevaday. Okay, Shabbos mit Yom Tov. Mal Shem Tov Yotzeit. And